If you've ever wondered how it's decided how much you pay in taxes from your income, it comes down to two words: tax brackets. In the US, people are taxed at different rates based on their income. Different portions of a person's income are taxed at different rates too. This is what's called a progressive tax system. So when you hear people say things like they're in the bottom tax bracket or the top bracket should be higher, this is what they're talking about. There's a long history of taxation and pushback on that taxation in the United States. Back in 1773, before America was even America, taxes inspired American colonists to destroy 3 shiploads of English tea. In 1791, Alexander Hamilton's proposed tax on alcohol led to the Whiskey Rebellion. Taxation on income in the US started when, during the Civil War, President Lincoln required everyone to contribute a portion of their income to the Union war effort. Shocker, people hated it, and it was repealed soon after. The 16th Amendment was introduced in 1913, which paved the way for income tax as we know it today. Congress then enacted an income tax, levying a 1% tax on incomes over $3,000. There was also a 6% surtax on incomes above $500,000. Keep in mind, back then, income tax affected less than 1% of Americans. Cut to a few decades later, and President Roosevelt's New Deal and World War II saw many taxes introduced or even increased. By 1936, the top tax rate had reached 79%. Needing more money to finance World War II, income taxes further increased in the 1940s. People with incomes of over $500 faced a 23% rate, with rates climbing up to even 94%. While subsequent presidents, like Kennedy, reduced the rates, the Economic Recovery Tax Act of 1981 was the next big move for tax. Reagan reduced the top marginal tax rate, that's the rate being paid by the richest people, to 50% in 1982, and then decreased it further to 28% in 1986. The rates have gone slightly up and down since. You're probably wondering right about now, when someone's top tax rate is 37%, for instance, what exactly does that mean? First of all, there are 2 separate tax brackets, one for if you're filing single and the other if you're filing jointly. As your income rises, you move into higher tax brackets. If you're in a certain tax bracket, that doesn't mean that you pay the same percentage on all of your income. This is key and something a lot of people misunderstand. For example, if as a single filer you make $60,000, you'd be taxed at 10% on your first $9,525, at 12% from $9,526 to $38,700, and at 22% from $38,701 to $60,000. So just because your income is between the $38,701 to $82,500 parameters doesn't mean that you're foregoing 22% of your income on all $60,000 that you make. So why are you hearing a lot about tax brackets now? Yes, tax rates have gone slightly up and down since the Reagan era, but the Tax Jobs and Cuts Act of 2017, an early legislative push of President Trump, is considered the biggest overhaul to America's tax system in the last 30 years. This new piece of legislation did several things. It reduced tax rates for middle-income earners slightly. The richest people in the country also saw their rate get reduced. It eliminated personal exemptions. It makes it less beneficial to itemize deductions, and it limits deductions from state and local income taxes and property taxes. It's important to note that just because your tax went down with this change, you might end up paying more in taxes, particularly in states with high property taxes. Given that the changes didn't go into effect until January 1st, 2018, this didn't affect tax returns until the 2018 tax year. That makes this year the first year that anyone will be feeling the effects of this tax law. And boy, do people have a lot of mixed emotions about it. Some people are taking to Twitter to complain about their refund. Others are taking home a little bit more money every month and are excited about it. Trump's tax overhaul isn't the only reason that tax brackets are in the news either. With the 2020 presidential election looming, some left-leaning politicians are pushing for a return to a much higher level of income taxation. First-term Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently proposed a 70% top tax rate. This drew a mix of criticism and applause. Not surprisingly, people have a lot of feelings about tax brackets. This is their money and my money we're talking about. And no matter where your opinion falls, that higher taxes are good, that lower taxes are the only way forward. This discussion around tax isn't going away anytime soon.